In this video, I'm gonna be teaching you how to lose money on small jobs instead of spending it on marketing. I know it's gonna be very, very controversial, and I want you to engage in comments. And before you think it's a bad business advice, I really want you to look at the case studies that I'm gonna present to you. So if you're the contractor and you don't do repairs, you don't do small jobs, so you don't understand why you should be doing small things for your homeowners. Maybe you're one of those contractors who only take big projects. You remodel basements, you build additions, you're doing re-roofs or flooring jobs, you name it. It's all big, and you would not take $200-300 projects. I want you to rethink that concept, because you need leads, you need customers, you need more business, and you're probably advertising your business. You're probably spending a lot on marketing to generate leads and calls. What I'm about to show you and present to you is, in my opinion, way better way to earn new customers, to earn new business. Let's go. I was reading first an article, and then I watched a couple media pieces on Rivian losing money. If you've never followed car manufacturers, a lot of cars are produced at cost. So Rivian was losing, I think it's like $160,000, $170,000 per vehicle. And then recently they were losing $33,000 per vehicle.
The electric car maker Rivian set out to build the ultimate electric pickup truck, but its design comes with a hefty price, over $80,000 on average for customers. And still, Rivian took a $33,000 loss on every car it sold in the second quarter. When the company went public in 2021, investors piled cash into it. But unless it can get its costs down, the company's future looks precarious.
So for many people, when you read the story like that, you cannot wrap your head around it. How can car manufacturer produce a car and lose money on a car? But if you study Amazon, Jeff Bezos, same thing. I remember early on, he was doing interviews in the late night shows, and his famous interviews from early days of Amazon, where people were asking him, well, you're doing billions in sales now, but you're still losing money. How's it good?
Here's the thing I don't understand. The company is worth billions.
Yes.
And every time I pick up the paper, each year it loses more money than it lost the year before. The company's never made a profit.
That's right.
Now, why? How does it? Why? How does that? Why?
Seems like a new math, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, it's to someone who doesn't know anything about this stuff. It's amazing. You know, we lost $12 million last year, and we're doing great.
Well,
sometimes in business, it's good to lose money. I know contractors don't want to accept this reality, but we have to learn from business cases. We are entrepreneurs. What I'm about to explain to you might sound like a bad advice, but I've done it in all of my businesses, and it worked for me for the past 15 years. This concept, only 5, maybe 10% of contractors will understand, but those who do usually run pretty big organizations. They have raving fans, tons of good positive reviews, and I'm gonna give you at least 2 companies, one that does understand it and another that does not. And we're gonna compare what kind of online exposure both of those brands are having these days. When you're an entrepreneur, you have to do things differently. You can't just follow everyone. Just because all of your competition is doing something, like for example, in my industry, in the roofing industry, everybody wants to do big jobs, insurance claims. Everybody wants to do re-roofs and re-sides. And 70% of contractors don't do repairs. I always was wired differently. I started my roofing company in 2013. In 2013, I had zero money to spend on marketing. I just couldn't afford it. So the only thing I could do is to work with my hands. It did miracles to me and my business. Let me explain. I joined Angie's List in 2013, and in 5 years, I became one of the highest rated contractors listed on Angie's List. In 2018, I got banned, and with over 700 reviews, I no longer was advertising. Neither did I want to advertise. They were not producing, but that's not the point. The principle will work for any business and any platform. At that time, in 2013, I figured that one of the service that I could do with my hands that did not cost me a lot is to fix gutters and clean gutters, because every gutter appointment that I would do would turn into a roof inspection. And as a matter of fact, within a year, I was coming back to the same customers to replace the roofs. I remember Sydney, she lives here in Eden Prairie. I did her gutter repair for $99. I created a deal super cheap on Angie's List, $99 gutter repairs. I would sell 30, 40 of them per week. So for me, as owner, operator, for the person who was doing the work itself, it was enough. Was it enough to run the company, to pay my overhead and my person in the office who's answering phone calls, my gas and my rent? No, it was not enough to cover the overhead, but it still was decent. It was cheaper to get customers that way instead of paying marketing agencies and pay-per-click on other campaigns, right? So $99 to repair a gutters, sometimes it would cost me more than that. By the time I would go to the store, I remember Sydney in Eden Prairie, she hired me, she purchased the coupon. She had 2x3 downspout, and I upgraded to her downspout to 3x4 downspouts. I went to the store, matched the color, came back, replaced it. She gave me a 5-star review. 2 years later, I came back and I replaced her cedar shake roof. It was $15,000, $20,000 job, I believe. Like pretty big project. Again, it was 8-9 years ago. I don't remember all the details, but I remember when I came back 2 years later, she asked me, do I know you? And I told her, yes, I replaced that downspout right there. So here's the very simple principle. You cannot make money on all of your jobs. It's simply impossible. Some jobs will be called marketing jobs. Sometimes you have to take the job to keep your crew busy. Sometimes you have to do stuff just to please the customer, just to do something nice. There's two schools in business. There's two ways of thinking of additional work. First one is you have to charge for your time and for anything you do on a project. Some contractors believe that they have to charge for every minute on the project, for every run to the store, for anything extra. So if you need extra piece of wood at the front, you have to charge for it. I call it monetizing your business, monetizing your life. Now, when you do that, the danger becomes people will pay you. But the problem with that is oftentimes they're not going to refer you, they're not going to recommend you. You can call yourself reasonable, and many people do that. And it's reasonable to ask for more money if you do extra stuff. But unfortunately, not everything in business is transactional, and not everything in business it's black and white. I'll give you an example. I was recently in a very nice steakhouse, and when we walked in, person asked me, what are we celebrating? What brought you in? And I think it was either anniversary or a birthday party. I don't remember exactly what it was, and later they brought us cake with happy birthday, hand writing chocolate words on it. Did I feel special? Did people who were with me felt special? We did not order it, but that extra gesture, that extra act of kindness, if you will, attention, means something to us as customers, right? And why did the owner of the restaurant put that policy in place to do the little things like that? Because in business, we do remember when people do something that they did not have to do, you are winning their heart. That extra act of kindness, that extra effort that you put in, we call it, like whatever you call it. Some people call it going extra mile. Under promise and over deliver is the best marketing strategy you can utilize in your business. Imagine if every or most of your customers talk about you to their friends and family. How much would you pay for that, to have those Raven fans being ambassadors of your business. Many contractors don't understand it, and they don't want to understand it. They're too transactional. I did this, you have to pay me. Do you? Or maybe you can shake hands and say, you know what, could charge you. I'm not going to charge you. Glad I could help. See, I believe when you go extra mile, you will always win new business. Now, I promise you to share two examples. I visited two companies. One of them, I don't want to beat the dead horse, but it's RRCA. It's Lee Hates company. So they're doing good numbers, $40-50 million a year, claiming to do $100 million a year, but that's not the case, as we all know it. So they have 7-8 locations. They are very transactional. They're a very big company, or want to be a big company. They're losing money. They're in debt. They only do big projects. They don't do small repairs. Actually, out of 8 or 9 locations, they only have 6 operating. So they even, like Panama City, RRCA already closed the doors. So ask yourself, why a big company that is so transactional, does such a big projects, closing offices, and struggling to even have 4-star reviews? Because when you're transactional, people are going to punish you with the bad reviews. People not going to spread the word about you. They're not going to recommend you. You will spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, Google ads. You're going to be recruiting people all the time because your company will be revolving doors. Nobody going to want to work for you. And this is exactly what's happening to RRCA. And one thing I want to tell you about losing money in business is, as a business owner, you have to take the hit. You cannot punish your employees. You cannot punish your workers. You cannot punish your salespeople. It's you, it's the business who have to take a hit. So when I was doing gutter repairs at my cost, and when you do this, you as a business have to own it. It's your decision. It's not your sales reps. You cannot come to the sales rep and say, well, I'm not paying for this, you're not getting commission because I lost money on the job. You know, the restaurant that gives away free food or free cakes per se, still gonna pay the chef who cooks it. It's a restaurant decision. It comes from restaurant profit. And I want you to compare this company to a company that's much newer, but doing much, much better, both financially, in reputation, and everything else. Name of the company is American Home Contractors. We visited them 3 years ago. At that time, they just passed 1,000 Google reviews. Today, they have 1,800 Google reviews. Absolutely astonishing. How can someone have so many reviews? Almost 2,000 Google reviews. They haven't been even in business for 10 years. At that time, they were in business 5 years. So now it would put them in 8 years. But here's what they were doing. They were doing those couple $100 repairs. At that time, I want to say their repair department had like 6 vans. Their average repair was $150, $200. They were serving the customers. They were going extra miles. They were pleasing everyone. People were becoming raving fans of that brand. As a result, it's one of the most reviewed companies in the area, one of the fastest growing, very profitable. They have several locations. You can't compare that business model with transactional business model like RRCA. One is a magnet. It attracts the business. People want to talk about you. Your customers are your brand ambassadors. They want their friends and family and everybody they know to use this company. And another one, it's one-time transaction and no more. Why is that? Because when you're transactional, people will pay you and they will think twice before do it again. Because when you're not delivering extra, there is no emotional connection. You know, we are all humans. We like emotional connections. We have hearts. And when you go extra mile, when you do something for the people that you didn't have to do, you're winning their heart. When you win in business someone's heart, they become your fan for life. You have to think about your customer before you think about yourself. Think about the homeowner who just lost their roof, have to file a claim, probably have a damage to their house they've never had before, amount of stress they have on them. And now they have this pesky contractor who knock at their door and only think about his profit and chasing what's good for him. Is that the contractor you want to be? Just being a nice guy. truly helps in marketing. I know it's not your traditional business message, but I wanted to get it out because I see so many contractors only thinking about money. And I want to give you a disclaimer. This is not going to work if you're not a genuine person. Like if you're going to do this only to get something from people, people going to feel it. You can't be nice to people just because you're going to receive something. You have to become a good leader. You have to become a good person. You have to become a good contractor with a good heart who truly takes care of others, who truly goes above and beyond, because people will feel it. People will feel it with a genuine and it's nice and it comes from your heart, or when you do something only to get something from them. Sometimes you have to do it even if you don't have money. Listen, doing the right thing in business goes a long way. I believe that when we're genuinely good people and when we do what we have to be doing, even if it's the hardest decision at the time, it always will come back to us tenfold. And that's why so many bad contractors are going out of business, because they have the bad character, and bad character will never attract business. You will never know when you're going to lose. You're going to be losing deals. You're going to be losing employees. People will turn backs on you. But when you're a genuinely good person, you will attract people. People will stay with you for longer, even if competition offers them more money to move. But if you're the good guy in the business, they'll stay by your side because they'll believe in you. So that's my beliefs. I wanted to share it publicly because it worked really well for me. In 15 years, I never had 1 year that was worse than before. I could have a bad day, but not bad week. Maybe a bad week, but not a bad month. But overall, every single year, my businesses grew. I didn't have money in the beginning. Then you reinvest in yourself. But still, I remember those customers where I remember one lady, she purchased $99 deal something, roof repair. And I remember coming to her house. She was so concerned about the cost. That repair should be $300-400, but she told me at appointments, like, Dmitry, I want to make sure you're not going to charge me more. She was so concerned, like you could feel it in the air. And I just told her, ma'am, I promise you, it's not going to cost you more than $99. She told me that she lives on insurance, on Social Security check. Her income was like $1,500 a month, something like $1,300 a month, very small amount. And she touched my heart. I said, I'm going to take care of you. And if whatever I do today, if it's going to leak, we're going to come back and we're going to come back. You're not going to have a problem with your roof because we're going to take care of you. And we did. We came back twice. It cost us a couple $100, but she paid $99 and I took care of you. I don't know, and I can't remember if she ever referred me or if she wrote me a better review. You know what? It doesn't matter. What matters is you help a person, the word spreads around, you will be happy with yourself. And I think that also has a high price, because when you are transactional, and I've seen a lot of people in business who are too transactional, those people are usually the most depressed. They don't know the reason why they're actually in business, and they're miserable business owners. So the question is, who do you want to be? Transactional, or you want to lead with your heart and do jobs for less or even for cheap at loss? For me, it's always second. Comment below where you're at this debate. I call them marketing jobs. I call them jobs to help people, and somehow it does help with the brand awareness, reputation, and somehow it always comes back with more business. Comment below if you agree or disagree. I read all of my comments and I would like to have this conversation with you. See you guys in the next video. If you like this video on this channel and want to learn more about roofing business or business in general, maybe you want to talk to me, check out a roofing school. I have videos like this online where you can learn anything roofing business. We have over 400 videos. You can schedule weekly calls with me every single week. I talk to students. If you want to discuss business strategies, your brand, maybe completely rebrand your company, or consult with me, what is it that you're doing right or wrong? Maybe pick up my brain. I would like to do that. Check out Roofing School. You can also schedule a call with me. If you go to dmitrylipinsky.com, there's going to be a Zoom link or Calendly link as well. I'll see you guys later.